Hi, my name is Doug Thoroughman, and I'm the Deputy State Epidemiologist for Kentucky. What I want to talk to you today about is personal prevention for Zika virus. At the time of this taping, the only way for a Kentucky resident to get infected with Zika virus is either to travel to a country that has Zika or to have sexual relations with someone who just came from a country that had Zika virus and who was infected. But a lot of diseases are carried by mosquitoes, so it's always good to keep mosquitoes out of your environment and to protect yourself against them. So what I want to talk to you about is how do we do that? There's two primary ways to keep mosquitoes away from you. One is to keep them out of your environment, and one is your own personal protection. So let me talk about keeping it out of the environment first. The main thing you want to do is stay in air-conditioned places, and when it's hot in the summer, that's not hard to do. But you want to keep in places where the mosquitoes aren't going to be naturally. However, if you are indoors and you don't have screens on your windows and doors, mosquitoes can still get in. So you need to have screens on windows and doors and inspect those screens. There may be holes in them. A hole even big enough for a pencil tip or a pen tip to go through is big enough for a mosquito to go through. So you got to check those out and try and keep your windows and doors closed except when they're screened. If you are in an area inside where you're sleeping and mosquitoes can still get inside, it's advised to use a bed net. So for instance, if you're traveling to a country with Zika virus, you'd want to sleep under a bed net so the mosquitoes couldn't get to you. Another thing you can do is use insecticides. So insecticides can be used indoors or outdoors. The spray kind we usually use outdoors, and mosquitoes love to hang out in places that are cool and dark, so under patio tables or chairs or around plants. That's the kind of places you would want to spray. You can also use foggers indoors, which kill all the bugs, and the thing to think about that is when you use those, you might get rid of everything for a while, but they'll probably come back, so you have to reapply that occasionally, and you have to read the instructions on that on each product to know exactly how to do that. Another thing you need to do is make sure that there's no water standing around your house. Most of these mosquitoes that would carry Zika virus and other diseases stick pretty close to their home environment, so they'll fly 25 to 100 yards around. So if you have breeding grounds in your area, you want to get rid of those, get the water out of there. If you can't get it out, can you cover it up? And if you can't cover it up, can you put a screen over it so the mosquitoes can't get there and breed? So that's the kind of thing to think about. You can also use larvicide, which are little things that can be put in the water, and it keeps the mosquitoes from breeding in that water. So that's keeping them out of your own environment. How do you keep them off yourself if the mosquitoes are still getting to you, they're still around you? Well, the first thing is to cover all of your exposed skin as much as possible. So use long sleeve shirts and long pants and closed-toed shoes. Keep your clothes tucked in and do the best you can just to keep them off. Light-colored clothes are also advised because the mosquitoes aren't attracted to the light colors. What you can also do is treat your clothes with different repellents to keep the mosquitoes away, or you can spray yourself with repellents. And the important point to think about repellents is, do they have an active ingredient that's known to work, like DEET or picaridin or IR3535, oil of eucalyptus, or PMD. All of these are active ingredients that keep mosquitoes from you, and the key to these is to use a higher percent of those because that works better. Like for instance for DEET, you want to have at least 20% DEET in the product. If you get above 50%, it's not going to help you a whole lot. So you have to look at those products and make sure that they're EPA registered, because if they're EPA registered, that means they're safe for the environment and safe for your use. When you're applying them, you want to apply them to all your exposed skin. You don't have to put them on under your clothes, anything like that. And you don't want to put it on open cuts or wounds or anything like that, or around your eyes or your mouth. And with children, you especially want to be careful, because if you spray it on their hands and say put that on yourself, a lot of times they'll put their hands in their eyes and mouth, and they'll get stinging or burning, and so you want to avoid that. You should put it on your hands and apply it to them rather than letting them apply it themselves. And a really important point is that pregnant women can use all of these different repellents. It's not a problem for them, and they're recommended for use, especially if you're in an area with a lot of mosquitoes. If you do get a rash or get sick, then you should go see your provider, stop using the repellent, and maybe look into a different kind to use. And if you do want to use sunscreen with these things, you want to put the sunscreen on first, let it dry, and then put the repellent on after that so you have effective use. And that's what I have to tell you about personal prevention today.